I'd do anything for my daddy.
If you're hearing our voices, that means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast, where we watch the worst movies from trailer to end credits, scene by scene. So you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
I knew you were going to pull that one.
You know I can't resist a good daddy line.
Oh, man. There was another one I thought was going to be up there, but the atheist one, which was pretty great.
That was a close runner-up. Yeah,
That's a pretty good one.
there were some gems in the second half.
Yeah, and gems as in like just bad, but good.
Yes, like very funny.
Yeah.
Probably not intentional.
So we're back with part 2 of our full breakdown of Vampire Academy from 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Zoe Dutch, some other people, right?
Lucy Fry, yeah,
Lucy Fry, yep, the Australian,
etc.
and others. Gabriel Byrne.
Okay,
That's it, right? We're good. We're caught up.
yeah, I think so. Training day. Yeah, we last left off when Christian was getting sent away like a little stalker kid.
Yeah, get out of here. So yeah, training day, right? Training with Dimitri here, right?
Yeah, because listeners, like there are very few actual segues in this movie. Like it's very choppy.
Yes, just like training.
Okay, next scene.
Next scene.
Yeah, they do a little bit later with Christmas Prince style with like Night Castle kind of
Yeah,
shots.
yeah. They do a lot of
A
that.
few of those, yeah, later on, but otherwise there's no transitions.
Nope, not at all. So we were training here, and this guy is not a good actor. Like,
No, terrible.
like this scene was just so brutal, and he's just like this delivery is just so cardboard boxy. It's like, holy smokes.
Yeah, which I mean, like, you know, props to him for acting in a foreign language.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But then we get a ton, just more exposition, right, about how to kill the Strigos, right?
Strigoi, yeah, exactly. Like, we got a silver stake here. You get your own silver stake maybe someday.
Yeah.
What?
A whole bunch of exposition about Rose's mom and how she was the most badass guardian there was, right?
Yep, exactly.
And then more very awkward flirting between two age inappropriate people.
Yeah, and she's highlighting her daddy issues here because she's like, I don't even know my father.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then she's like, well, I'll have to cut my hair eventually if I'm going to be a real guardian, right? Because like that way you can see my tattoos on my neck. And he's like, no, just wear it up. Like he also has long hair, like which he's wearing up. And she's like, no, but like I probably have to get a haircut, right?
Don't ever get your haircut.
He doesn't have a haircut.
Yeah, like what? Stop with the hair. Leave the hair alone. Why is this a point right now?
Why is this a plot point?
Yeah, this is the worst flirting ever. Worst flirting dialogue. So then we cut to the Academy yard there, right? We got Rose, in the hallway with Mia there, short haired girl, right? And they're kind of just having some back and forth words, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and Rose is like, by the way, beware doesn't have an H, and she's like, what?
What? Beware.
You're like, oh wow, maybe she didn't do it. I don't know.
Well, and then we get Alyssa doing Jedi mind tricks on people, right?
Yep. So it begins.
She's turning to the dark side.
Yep. So you'll be friends with me, right?
Right.
Yeah, I would love to be friends with you.
I'm going to come study with you tomorrow night. Okay. And then we get Rose vision. She's kind of watching this, all unfold. And she's like, no.
More exposition, right? Because then basically after she watches this all happen, she like storms off and Liz is like, hey, whatever. And she's like, using the power has a cost on both of us, Like, does it?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's new.
Yeah. Okay. Let's explain this one too.
Yeah. And then like Natalie shows up out of nowhere and she's like, I got the computer, you guys. Like, what?
And then they cut to the dorm room and it's like them just doing laptop stuff. I'm like, this is the worst transition. But yeah, so then we're in the dorm room here, right? And Liz she's getting ready to go out and do some studying with her new friends that she compulsed into being friends with her. Jedi mind tricked them.
Yep.
And then this just gets so weird and so strange. And then so to talk to her friend there, Natalie, she's yapping away about how she's a virgin, right?
Yeah.
And then Rose talks about having a crush on Dimitri, and I was like, again,
you're
17, and right? And she's
Yeah.
describing him as like did she start by describing him as a hot dad and then goes to sexy uncle? Is that what she did?
Okay. A disturbingly sexy uncle
Yes.
is what she calls him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which,
Not
not going to unpack that anymore.
Yeah, no, I think we'll just let that one sit there.
Yep. And then they start looking at like weird pictures on the computer of Lissa's brother Andre, like who's like dating Mia, and they're like weird like paparazzi photographs.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand like where did they get these pictures from?
Yeah, and they're kind of doing some piecing together and like pushing that the Mia is like a suspect for the one who's doing all the blood writing and stuff like this, right?
Gosh, she's capable of doing bad stuff, and she hates Lissa's family. We thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty. And then we're training, right? We got some
we get a quick cat cut.
Cat cut. Yep. And then we get and then we're kind of doing we start off with like a little mini training montage, right? Because you need that's how you train. It is a montage.
Training and feeding and expositioning.
So much. And then we're in the gym, right? And basically Rose is just kind of beating up people, right?
From the trailer, it's I heard you're good at taking on two guys at once.
Yeah, all from the trailer.
Kicks him.
Jesus Christ. And then is this
so then there's another
clue?
It's a clue, but it's also like a misdirection clue.
Yeah. About the all the people having their wrists covered up.
Yeah. Like, oh, weird. Why do those guys have their wrists covered? And so does Mia.
I love when this is explained. It's so ridiculous. And so stupid and so weird.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah. It's so dumb. And then meanwhile, also misdirection, principal headmistress Kirova is talking to Mia in like hushed secrets out in the yard there. Yeah. You're like, okay.
All right. This is okay.
Yeah. And then this is when Rose is like, I need a file. Like, you got to distract people so I can get a file. And you're like, what? I don't think this movie is. I think you're in the wrong movie. I don't think we have files here.
There's no files here.
Yeah.
So then we're back in the training with Dimitri, right? We're in the training room here, the gym, just the two of them. And then Rose is asking him about Miss Carp, and he's like, all hushed about it. And she's like, well, no one tell me what's going on here, right?
Yeah. He's like, I don't know.
I don't know. And then just more flirting. I'm like, she's 17, right? And he's like 30 something, right? Yep. Sure is.
Yep. And so like she like runs and tackles him while trying to sneak up on him from behind, and he pins her down, and he's like, but you should keep doing those surprise attacks on me. It's good training.
It's like watching a Pink Panther. Inspector Clouseau has got his just surprise attacks when he comes home.
Basically. And she wraps up that scene with, any other moves you want to show me? And he's like,
this is probably an HR nightmare here, right?
Gross.
So then we're in the office there, and Rose sneaks in and takes the file that's nicely named Miss Carp.
Yeah. There's it's like a DVD on the floor, and she's like, Miss Carp. Okay.
All right. I guess this got all the answers. And then they were back at the dorm room there, right? And she's watching a DVD about Miss Carp, whatever. Kind of learning some things about how she, whatever was going on with her, right? And then it's
like a weird video diary. Like, I don't really understand what this video is. Where do these angles come from?
Yeah, like who
filmed this?
And why? What is this?
Yeah.
And then Rose has a Rose vision of Lissa, right? I forget what it was for. But then she gets it's like going like day 5, whatever. And it's kind of like Mrs. Carp is kind of transforming and becoming more, erratic, whatever. And then day 6, it's like, she needs like security clearance to get in to see it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then she has a vision of Lissa. And then this is weird. This cuts into like a dream sequence, doesn't it? This vision?
The Rose vision, it turns out to be a dream sequence. We thought it was just regular Rose vision, but
right. Because she's in the room watching these videos until she gets locked out. She does have Rose vision, but then it cuts to basically Lissa's dream. So she's seeing her dreaming right now, right?
Right. I think she's watching this on the laptop while Lissa is sleeping in the room next to her.
Yeah. Okay. So then we cut to the academy yard here, right? And we get Christian, right? He comes up and he comes in real hot and he's like, "Hey, Strigoi, my brothers, come in!" Rawr. And he basically,
well, yeah, more or less.
right?
Basically, like Alyssa's old ex-boyfriend's there, and he's like, "We're together again. I'm so glad." And then and then that's when Christian pops in, and he's like, You made me do this. I'm Strigoi now, just like my parents."
Rawr, rawr, rawr.
And then he goes and murders Dimitri, and like then Lissa turns into Strigoi, and
yeah,
it's dumb. The whole thing's stupid.
it's a nightmare. But then she wakes up, and yeah, that's that.
She's like, "Rose, did you feel that one? Weird dream, huh?" And Rose is like, yeah, weird dream. Yeah.
So this is about halfway through the movie, maybe a little bit further, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I had a little before, but
we're about there. So then we get we're back to the church, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was like. At first, I thought it was class, but then I was like, "Oh no, I think this is like mass. Like they go to mass. They go to mass like every day, apparently." Because vampires are more religious than regular people.
That is just too much mass right there. But so basically, what comes out of this is that she talks to Christian, right, and just is like, "Hey, I'm sorry, Lissa does like you," and then he's like, she's trying to get have him do something for her, right? He and then he's like, "No."
It's like, you just ruined my life, like again.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Get out of here.
Like, get out of here. Don't forget, there's that party in the rec room. And you're like, oh, okay.
Oh, wait, what?
I guess that's a throwaway from like Natalie or someone, right? Like who reminds her about the party? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I think it's Natalie.
So then Rose walks into the party and Liz like, "There's my blood, bitch." Like, wait. And like one of the girls in the background's like, "It's really great that you can joke about it." What?
And then Liz is really exploring her powers here, and she's doing the keg trick.
She like funnels like beer into people's mouths, and she's like, "Anyone up for a little? I think might declare keg magic, right?" What?
What is going on?
And so she's doing fire and air, and she's like scratching under her arm. Meanwhile, the whole time, like, that's weird.
Yep. And then Rose just leaves. She gets up and leaves, right?
Yeah, she's also scratching. When Liz is uncomfortable, so is Rose.
Yeah, that's sure. They're shadow kiss. That's what happens, right?
That's right.
So we're back outside, and then they're chatting. Yeah,
it's because Rose stormed out, and Lissa comes up over to her and is like, "What's going on? Like, why are you leaving? Like, you can't leave the party." And she's like, "I got to go home and sleep you off. You're burning us both out doing too much magic lately." And then they like complain about each other's boy choices. And Rose is like, "Hey, you should go check out that Christian guy again. Maybe he's not all bad." Yeah. And she's like, "You were the one who told me that he stunk."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Wait, like what's going on? Like, why is everyone messing with my head? You guys are savages." And Rose is like, "This is bigger than high school, Lissa. Don't you understand?" And then that's when like Natalie pops out of nowhere. She's like, "Hey!"
Yeah, the scene from the trailer line about those jobs in Montana. You don't want to do that, right?
Right. She almost knocks out Natalie, and it's pretty funny.
And then Natalie's like, "I think something was following me," or whatever, right? And they're like, "Oh, I think it's a Psyhound," whatever. So they run, right? And they go to like another.
Rose thinks everything's a Psyhound.
Yeah.
What?
Like what?
This is the first we're hearing of that term.
So they go running to like a more open like courtyard area, right? And they look around and there's like a bag sitting on top of like a well, and then there's like cameras set up like all the place.
Yeah.
And Lissa goes up to the bag, and it's her cat, Mr. Toonces, is in there, dead. Like, what is this movie? And then she tries to bring it back to life, but she can't, right?
Well, wait, I didn't think she'd try. I thought she's passed out from like
I thought she was trying to bring it back.
Trauma. No, I think it's just like, my cat.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And we have another flashback, right? We have Rose chatting with Miss Carp, right? And Miss Carp basically telling her that she needs to get Lissa away from the academy because not everything, outside needs to be feared.
Right.
Fear can be on the inside too, right?
Yep, exactly. And you're like, don't forget how bound you are to Lissa and yada, yada, yada. Like, this isn't about the Strigoi. This is bigger than that. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
is
right.
it?
Is it? Yeah. Is it though?
Yeah. And then they kind of explain it. Miss Carp's like, don't worry, I'm just hiding your memories from now. For now, like you'll remember when it's time for you to remember. You'll forget everything until you don't have to forget anymore. And you're
like, what is that logic and what is that explanation?
Yeah, what? Like, but you have to get Lissa away from the academy. Bad things are going to happen.
Forget everything you think you thought you knew. What?
What?
So then we're in an office, right, with headmistress office and Victor and company, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Rose is
the
in there,
whole team,
and she's filling in details about, I don't even know, what's like the whole thing, the situation of the bag and the cat, right, and all this sort of stuff.
Yep, she's explaining like the whole movie so far.
The cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, and she's like, and then some guy's like, "Is it true that she could bring the dead back to life?" Like, no one since Saint Vladimir could do that, and she's like, "Well, I don't know about that."
Yeah, well, let's hold it back. And then she's like, "I want to see day 6 footage of Miss Carp," and it was like there was a moment of like, no, and all of a sudden it was just like, okay, yeah, fine, we'll show you.
Yeah, it's not even that, but like even more forcefully, there's like, we have no right to keep Rose in the dark for as long as we have. Then why did any of this happen? Take her downstairs, show her everything.
Like, oh my god! So then we're in the basement, Dimitri here, and we're getting the day 6 footage, right?
Yep.
And basically, it was a quick shots from the trailer, but it's Miss Carp eating people in the hospital there, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
She became a Strigoi.
Yeah, and we get more exposition about why. Like, well, you know, people with powers like hers and the same powers that the princess has, like, you know, she like they're in constant pain and suffering. They wanted the pain to go away. Strigoi have inner clarity because they have no feelings.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And then like they do a quick like security camera. She like looks at it on her way out with like glowing red eyes, and you're like, what?
Well,
she got away. We don't know where she is now.
She's just in a cave up the hill.
Yeah.
And then we cut to some more Rose. Yeah, we cut to in the sequel. And then we cut to some Rose vision here, right? And we got Lissa now with the headmistress and basically telling them that everything that Rose said was wrong, right? And she's kind of lying about her abilities, right? And I was like, I don't even know what's happening at this point. So yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else in that?
They do that self-harm bit. Like they're like because when Lissa passes out with the cat, they're like reveals like a bunch of cuts on her arm. And they're like, Lissa's denying it now. She's like, what are you talking about? Cuts on my arm? That's ridiculous. Look at my arms.
Look, do you see cuts here? Do you see scratches? I think not. Case closed.
Yeah. She's like, Rose is a liar. Everyone knows that.
It's like, isn't she your best friend? What is going on? Like,
yeah. And then Dimitri, so Rose is like telling the whole thing to Dimitri. And he's like, well, there is one other person that can help. Saint Vladimir. What?
Like the delivery of information and people's emotions change. It's such a weird like clip that it's just like, this isn't believable. And it's just like, it's so off-putting and awkward.
It's so awkward. Yeah.
So then we're back in the library of the church there, right? The special place. And Rose is there, meets with Christian, right? And they do some little book research, right?
Yeah.
And then like this happens very quickly, but it feels like he quickly puts together that he thinks it's the headmistress and Mia.
Right.
Exactly. That's his theory.
Yeah. And they also do a ton of exposition about apparently you have to declare a major for your magic like you're in college or something, but because if you don't, then like that's how you get all confused and discombobulated like Lissa is. So like Lissa's special is even more special than we imagined because she can use all the powers and undeclared magic, yada yada. Like it's the stupidest. Like, I don't care about any of this.
No.
Show me, don't tell me.
Yeah. And then we get the line from the trailer about the women, magic, and blood thing. You know, she's going to be, mood swing stuff. Okay. Right. Mm-hmm. That's a joke that doesn't land.
It's never the girl's fault, even when it is her fault. Don't you know that, you idiot?
You
he's
dummy.
Like, what? He's like, if you weren't a psycho, you'd be fun to hang out with.
Oh, my God. So then we're in the academy yard again, right? And Lissa comes in. So this is
fornicator.
She comes in. It's the scene, so it just jumps them outside, right? And Lissa just comes in hot onto Rose, and is just like, "You fornicating with Christian?
Yeah. What were you doing in there? Fornicating?"
It's like, wait,
Christian's like,
whoa.
He's like, whoa. No, we were just talking about your undeclared spirit. And she's like, oh,
okay.
Yeah. And then he kisses her, and she screams at him and is like,
yeah, not having it.
We were brothers.
I love you like a brother. Oh my God. So then Rose and Lissa are just having this argument. I don't even know what it was about. I kind of zoned out, but they're just like, they're angry with each other, or Lissa's angry with Rose because I think what she told the council there, the high council,
Yeah.
And then Rose is
Lisa
like,
calls her a blood whore.
and this had
Again.
me actually laughing out loud. This scene, what happens?
Which part? Oh, the next, yeah.
Oh God,
Sam.
So they're walking, doing like a walk and talk argument here, right? And Rose is behind Lissa, and she's scratching her arm, and they're arguing, and all of a sudden, like a hole just opens up in the ground, and Rose steps in it, and her leg snaps like in the most hilarious fashion I've ever seen.
Yes, like the bones pop out. It's like way too gory, unnecessarily.
Like weird CG blood too, and I was like, "This is so goofy and so weird. Like, what is going on?" And then we cut to a hospital, and she's in a hospital bed.
Yeah, I also burst out laughing.
Oh my God! And then so we're in the hospital, and Dimitri's there, and he's like,
"We get the classic eye flutter shot."
Oh
like,
yeah, right.
From behind her eyes, like, where am I?
In the hospital, right? And she can move her ankle and she feels fine, right? And Dimitri's like, "Yeah, you're not injured." And why is she in the why is she in the hospital? Like what's the logic here?
Like, why is he so bad at like doing
acting,
like explaining what's happening? Well, no, but like what a jerk! Like, well, you're not injured. Like, well, obviously she's here because she was injured, and then Lissa healed her. Like, just explain for like a little bit more.
So she's in the hospital and she checks her leg and her leg is fine. So yeah. And then, I was like, what is this movie going on here? Right. So then Lissa and Rose are talking and she's like, "Hey, thanks for fixing my leg," whatever. Right.
Yeah.
And then the headmistress comes in and she's like, this is one of those weird moments. Like everyone just shows up to say their line. Yes. There's like no reason for everyone to be here. But then, so then Natalie shows up and the headmistress shows up. And the headmistress is like, "Hey, I want you two to like bunker down, be safe."
Glad you're alive. We're putting you in a bunker for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, until we can figure out what's going on here, right?
Yeah.
That means
obviously no dance.
Can't go to the dance tonight. Aw.
Oh man.
But if they don't go to the dance, they don't kiss. They don't kiss. They don't fall in love. They don't fall in love. I don't exist. And then the Dr. Finn's like, "Oh no, you got to go." And then Victor shows up out of nowhere, and he's like, "Oh, I've planned a shopping expedition." I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? What is happening?
Yeah, Natalie's like, "Come on, you love shopping."
What? Literally, your cat's dead. Go in the bunker. So then we're outside and we get the classic Pink Panther attack move here. This was hilarious. She like jumps out of nowhere to go attack, like surprise attack Dimitri, and he just tosses her.
Yeah, well, because again, she surprise attacks him by screaming. She's like, "Ah!" Like as she like runs up to attack him, like he can hear you coming a mile away. Like, and he told her this is the first surprise. I mean, I know they're flirting, like it's not a real surprise attack, but
right.
Don't be so obvious.
Oh my God. And then we're at the mall, right?
In the car, Alyssa's like, "How long have you been in crush with him?" And she's like, "I'm not." Yeah, and then they get to the mall.
So then they're in the mall, and Rose is a little on edge here, right? She's jumping at everything, every noise, right?
Well, she's like, "Wait, why don't I get a silver steak?" And Dimitri's like, "No, you can't have one." And then the other Guardian's like, "Here's a flashlight, though." Okay.
What is going on?
I don't know. Yeah. So then Rose starts jumping at everyone, hates the word destiny. Lissa says
a bunch more exposition about who they are and what they do again. Right.
Yeah. She's like, "Well, I guess that's life until they come up with a better name for it." What? And Rose attacks the massage guy. Massage guy's like, "Hey, you look a little stressed," and she like flips him over and like breaks his arm. And he's like, "Ah!" And then they run away. They're like, "Oh, quick, run away!" It's like 15 feet away, like to a clothing store. And you're like, "Wait, that guy's definitely gonna press charges." Like,
so then they buy dresses, right? And Victor's there, right? And he's like, "Oh yeah, and here's this necklace," or he doesn't get the necklace yet, but she sees the necklace, and then later on,
that's my necklace.
Yeah,
but it's too expensive,
way too much. So, yeah, and then they kind of listen, and Rose talking like, "Oh man, the dance is gonna be the last chance for us to figure out this mystery." Okay. Then we end up in the dorm room, right? And they're getting ready for the dance, and just the line from the trailer about gonna make that their night their bitch or something, right?
Yep. Natalie's like all dressed up now too, and like gives Rose the necklace that Victor bought. And he's like,
"Yes,
hey, like just so you know, like I saw you admiring this." And she's like, "Oh my God, but it's too much." And there's a note with it that's like, "Thanks for looking after Natalie and Lissa. Like appreciate you. And then we get like a virus message on the computer that pops up, and it's like, this is your last dance, skull and crossbones. Like, what?
Oh man, someone's got Microsoft Paint. And then we're at the dance, right?
Yep.
And the
Everyone
dance
looks
is
at them when they walk in,
because
right?
you have to
Just
have
like
the slow-mo entrance, when you walk into the dance. So
from the trailer. Yep.
get a creepy stare from old Dimitri there.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, Dimitri didn't react to you. And she's like, no, that's a big reaction from him. He doesn't react to anything. He's Russian. Okay.
All right. Okay. That was a lot. And then Christian and Lissa, they hook up and they're dancing, right? And they kiss, whatever.
Yeah. Well, he's like, sorry for the kiss the other day. And she's like, what about the one right now?
What is this dialogue? So then we get Mason pops over, right? And he's like, hey,
Yeah.
I got some news here. And we got they get two assholes from earlier, right?
Yep.
He drags him over, and basically we get the most ridiculous explanation of what's going on.
Yeah. We did it.
Oh my
Me and
God.
Liz have sex with her if we obeyed her.
Like, what is this movie?
I think we go. Blood splash is the new Moroi fad. Where like when we're having an orgy and things get kind of hot and heavy, we like slash our wrists open and spray our blood everywhere.
Like,
what? Why do you have this in the movie?
It's so ridiculous. So they were
They
the
like,
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, they show them writing the beware, misspelling beware, like on the wall with their own blood from their wrists while they're all naked. And you're like, what's going on? Like,
what is this movie? And then Mia wanted to do some sex stuff in the princess's room. That's why they were in there.
yeah.
What? How is this? What is going on? And then they talk about the cat. And like, oh, did you kill the cat? And we'd like, they thought it was a fox or something, right? And then
Yeah, and I was like, what?
yeah, it was really confusing.
Did they kill the cat or no?
Yeah, and then the kid was like, he's like, oh no, animal cruelty, that's messed up, that's disgusting. I was like, wait, so did you kill a fox? What is going on here?
Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one who's confused. So then Rose is like, well, thanks anyway, Mason, and like kisses him on the cheek, and he's like, of course, I like basically solved the whole mystery, and all I get's a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah.
Lame.
And then we get then Mia shows up, right? And she kind of cracks everything open here, right? And Rose and Mia kind of a face off.
Yeah, exactly.
And Mia's like, I wouldn't. She also says like, I wouldn't kill a cat, right?
Yeah, and Mia's like, who says maybe your baby has herpes? Like, I was like, why? I wrote it down because I was like, what is this line? But I don't even remember who said it or why.
I don't. Maybe your baby has herpes. What does that even mean?
I think Mia said it, and I was like, what? And then basically they they have a bunch of back and forth, and Rose is like, nice wrist corsage slashy. You're like, and then Mia basically breaks down, and she's like, I'd never heard a kitty.
Yeah.
And Rose is like, I should have realized all along you're just an insecure little girl, and then knocks her out.
Just boom, like
no provocation. Like Mia hisses at her, but like that's not an excuse to
just punch someone. And we get the line from the trailer, right? Where it's like, oh, everyone saw that I tried to de-escalate that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then meanwhile, Christian actually solves the mystery a little bit here. And he's like, wait a second, if Mia didn't do that, there's still a threat out there. And like
a bigger threat.
As they get thrown out of the dance, and it's a whole thing.
Oh my God. Oof. Okay. So then we're back in the office here, right? And we get
Rose has another vision.
Headmistress' office, right? And then Rose has a vision of Lissa getting kidnapped.
Well, Lissa and Christian are together. Yeah, exactly. He's like, wait, I got to get you to a safe place, and they like make out for a minute,
right?
And then somebody bashes him and puts a bag over her
and
head.
Then takes her. Yeah, good old. That's so stupid. Yeah. Rose is in the headmistress's office, right? And she has this vision, and the headmistress comes in, and she's got like this big needle, like she's going to sedate Rose. I'm like, what is going on? Like,
yep. Because she is in on it, so she is kind of a villain.
She is, yeah, okay,
like to a degree. And then this is one of my. It was almost the quote was, as Rose like turns the needle back on her and sticks it in her butt, and she's like passing out. She's like, I could have been a model. A man in Milan gave me his card when I was 16. And then she's like passes out. What is this dialogue?
So then, the headmistress is night. And then this just gets even more hilarious. So then Rose shows up to Dimitri's room, right?
Yeah.
Where he's just hanging out shirtless, right?
Yeah.
And
She's like, what is right and wrong anyway? Like, who even knows what right or wrong is, right?
it's like, what is this? and then it's like, yeah, then she's like, she goes in, like, comes in hot on him, right? And she's like, oh, Lissa's in trouble. Oh, wait, hang on a second. let's get it on here.
Meanwhile, Dimitri's like, this is insane. We can't be doing this. And then she's like, starts taking off their clothes. You're like, okay, well.
The dialogue is so bad. He's like, I love your dress. Let's burn it. He literally takes it off her and throws it in the fire. It's like, I guess this is supposed to be a comedy, so maybe this is it. I don't know.
I don't know.
So then they're getting hot and heavy, making out, whatever, on the bed there, and then he spots like the necklace on her around her neck. Yeah. He's like, "What? It's a goddamn charm," and he rips it off, right? And she's like, "Whoa, what's going on?"
Love charm. I knew it.
What?
Yeah. Well, and then that's the thing. Like, they don't even like have like a second of like coming out of it and being like, "Whoa, what's going on?" Immediately, like, Rose is just like, "Lissa was kidnapped. We have to hurry."
Diddle-oo, diddle-oo. It was such a weird transition. And then we cut right to the like Victor's office or something like that, right? Or whatever.
No, not even. Like, it's another weird transition because we cut outside and it's Dimitri and like another one of the Guardians being like, all right, we got the car, we can go.
Yeah.
And then the other Guardians like, wait, shouldn't we get this cleared with the headmistress first?
Yeah.
And Rose is like, I put a sedative in her ass. Wait, what?
So that other Guardian is Guardian Gabriella. She's played by Dominique Tipper. She's in the Expanse show. I don't know if you ever saw. I was like,
okay.
I was like,
familiar.
I was like, I know who this is. Yeah. So there's that.
That's great.
Transition, I guess. If you call it that.
And then we're in the car, right? So we get Christian like snuck in the car in the back seat, and we see him in there too with Rose. And she's like, "Wait, let me just concentrate. I think I can have a vision if I try hard enough."
It's like, damn it, she's
all
blindfolded.
I can see is a blindfold. Which then immediately the blindfold comes off, and she's like, "Oh, never mind. I can see now." The Guardian and Victor. What?
So Victor's the bad guy. I think maybe someone actually said that. That was the actual line of dialogue.
Yeah,
Victor's
and then
the bad guy.
That's where we get a ton of exposition from Victor.
Yeah,
right?
we jumped to Victor Lissa's location, right? Yeah, and basically just a ton of exposition. It's the end of the Scooby-Doo episode, and he's just telling us all why he's doing this, right? Yeah, and basically he wants Lissa to heal him
continually forever because his disorder apparently keeps making him worse. Which
yeah.
I don't think that's how healing works.
Like what? Okay.
And then it cuts back to the car, and Rose is like, "He needs her to heal him." Stop it! Stop explaining it again.
It's so bad. And then they go back and they're like explaining how bad this would be for Lissa.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
He's like, well, spirit users take the power from their own essence. And she's like, so you want me to give up my life for yours? And he's like, basically. He's like, I'm much more important than you. I gotta be healthy so I can be on the throne. And she's like, you can't make me. And he's like, Kenneth, bring in Kenneth. Bring in Kenneth.
So then Kenneth comes in, and apparently he's a superior air user. He's blind, but he's good with air, right?
Yeah, compulsion won't work on him because he's blind. He's like, all right, well, have at her. And so he like walks over to her and he just like blows in her ear. He's like, and she's like, ow, 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 ow.
And then Victor's like, heal me. She's like, no.
And like Rose is in the car also being like, ow, ow, ow.
So he tortures her again, and he's like, heal me now. Heal me now, like, heal me later. Jesus Christ. And she's like, fine. She shakes his hand, and then
he literally says, my, this really worked out.
And tosses his cane across the room. I was waiting for him to do like a dance number. I was like, this would be great. Oh my God. So then he's like, take her away, right? Oh God. Whew. All right. So then we back with the B team here, the A squad, whatever. So they pull
arrive.
Up they arrive. Dimitri's like, all right, just stay in the car this time because, we'll take care of this or you'll get in the way. And then Rose and Christian are like, we're going in anyways, right? And she's like, yeah, you got to do some fire stuff. I need you to do some fire stuff there, kid, because he can do fire, right?
Right, exactly.
Oh my god.
Like meanwhile, inside, somehow there's like a ton of seemingly really well armed soldiers
Yeah.
that Victor has in his employ, apparently. And somehow the Guardians like just take them out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, all right, well, that was easy.
That was easy peasy. So yeah, so Dimitri and Gabriella as Guardians there, they come in and just big fight, house fight, right?
Yep.
And then Rose and Christian are sneaking in. They're heading upstairs, right? Because Rose can see doing some vision stuff, right? And then she does like this overly long fight with this one guy and throws him over the banister.
That's a woman.
Oh, it's a woman? Oh,
yeah. No,
so
she like headbutts the woman in the face, and she's like, "Ow!" and like tosses her off the balcony.
Just like so over the top. We're like, why? What is this? I guess to show that she can fight.
Yeah, and there's like a guy like slow-mo taser, or is like about to taser Dimitri, and he like turns around and takes him out too, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Why is the scene here?
And we cut to listen. She's in a room with one of the guards, right? And she does some Jedi mind tricks on him, and she's like, "You can fly. I believe you can fly, right?"
Yeah, I believe you can fly.
I believe you can fly. And the guy just turns around and jumps out the window.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Then Alyssa escapes now, right? So she's climbing down the pipe of the side of the building there, right? And then we get the Psy Hounds show up. Kind of one of the scenes from the trailer too. They show up and they kind of corner her, right? There's two of them.
Yep. And then we get a bunch of exposition about Psy Hounds.
Oh my God. Victor coming in stage right here.
We can't let any element of this movie go unexplained. So Victor's like, well, they're expensive to breed and difficult to train, but they'll stalk her and they won't attack unless I say the words. You're like, oh, okay.
Why'd you have to explain this to your right-hand man? I think he knows this, doesn't he? Oh my God. So then Alyssa runs, and this is a shot from the scene, right? The helicopter drops down, and and then we cut back.
We're supposed to be taking away Alyssa, I guess, in the helicopter.
Then we cut back to the Victor and his second-hand man there, right? And Dimitri shows up. Yeah. Oh my God. This is too hilarious.
Victor's like, you can take care of him, right? And he's like, well, they say Dimitri's a god, but I'm an atheist with a big gun.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
He's sick of being called number 2. So he's they have a big stupid fight scene.
Yep. They battle out and Dimitri ends up winning. Long story short.
Yep. Just kills him right there, nice and easy.
So then we're back outside, right? And this was goofy too. So Victor is out there and he's got them at gunpoint, right?
Yeah, well, first, like, Rose beats up a guy, and the fire guy does literally nothing. Like, he just puts a little fire on the guy's shoulder. And
he's having a hard time.
Oh, man.
Getting going here, right? And then Victor shows up. Yeah.
Christian gets shot.
Yeah, right.
And it's wicked funny.
Ooh.
Ow!
He just goes down. And then Victor's like, all right, get out of the way, Rose, or I got to shoot Rose or something. I'm like, what's going on here? And then and then they go back and forth, and she's like, well, he won't kill me. And then she's like, no, but I'm going to protect you. And, he's like, just get out of the way so I don't kill her too. Oh my God.
Yep. Then like Dimitri shows up, and like everyone's like there to like save the day. And they're like, you know what? You're worse than the Strigoi. And he's like, what?
Yeah. They literally take Victor down. Like it's no big deal. They just like come up behind him like, ha, gotcha. Boom.
Put him in handcuffs. And they're like, well,
I guess the crime is solved.
Yeah.
And then we get more of the Psy Hounds, right?
Yeah, because Victor's like, well, you discounted the Psy Hounds. They're good at murdering. And he's like, hounds, attack. So they start running. They go right past Dimitri. I thought that they were going to.
I thought so too.
Attack the people that were putting him in handcuffs.
Right. Because that
made more sense, I guess.
Yep.
And instead, the hounds go to attack the princess, Rose? I guess.
I thought it was Rose, but whatever. Maybe. Yeah. So they jump over Christian.
Yeah.
And as they're flying through the air, he torches them.
Right. Exactly. That's some freaking fire magic. Like, okay. And then Rose just like takes off half her shirt, and she's like, all right, power up, princess. And so like Lissa like sucks her. And Dimitri's like, oh, all right. I shouldn't do that.
Then Rose passes out, and then Lissa uses her healing powers to heal Christian, right?
Yes, and the flops are wicked funny. So like Rose gets drained of some blood and just flops over. No one cares.
Yep,
wicked funny. Lissa runs over, heals Christian, and then she flops over. And Dimitri's like, "Gah."
God damn it! I guess I gotta clean this up too. And then like all Scooby-Doo episodes end, we're in the head mistress's office, right? And just wrapping things up.
She's like, "Oh, what a night, huh?"
Wait, what? Well, we're not quite done yet. So then we wrap things up, right? And then we're out in the hallway, right? And Dimitri and Rose and Dimitri chatting.
They do in the Kurova Rose scene, they do say, they're like, "Wait, but how's Natalie?" Rose like, "How's Natalie doing?" Knowing that her dad was like the big bad, like that must be devastating for her. And Kurova's like, "Oh, don't worry, they're removing her from school, like
yeah,
whatever." And she's like, this is when she gets that other letter that made me laugh. And she's like, "Oh, also this came for you." And it's like a telegram for mom, and it says, "Proud, period. Mom, period."
Oh, why is this happening? Why is this all happening?
Yeah. Then we cut to the hallway where Rose is like, "Hey, Dimitri, we should talk about what happened, shouldn't we?"
Oh my God.
And he's like, that's when he does all this age math. And he's like, even if I were 36 and you were 20, maybe that'd be a little better. Or if I were 28 and you were 22, I don't know. Like if it was a smaller difference, but like it was just a spell, just a charm. We can't do anything about this.
Oh my goodness. And then, the headmistress, she pops in, right? And says that Victor wants to see Rose down in the basement, in the prison. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And she's like, "I don't want to go do that." And then she's like, "Oh, he has something to tell you about being shadow kissed." And she's like, "Oh, my interest is piqued."
Yeah. Dimitri's like, "Well, she's not going to go." And she's like, "You can't tell me what to do."
And she just walks by and goes down. So then we got like the good old villain hero chat, right? Rose and Victor just chatting away.
Yeah. And again, the dialogue is just so bad because she comes in. She's like, "Oh, you look good, Vic. Like, too bad that being healed just means you're going to spend even more time in prison." What? And he's like, "Yeah, I probably should have killed you." And then she looks at him and she's like, "Shadow kissed?" And he's like, "Oh, I suppose I do owe you that."
Like, what? And then we get the entire exposition about how Alyssa has this healing power, basically, right? The accident kind of cracked it open for her, and they show her touching Rose, and basically no one should have survived that car accident, but the two of them did, and that's what bonded them, right?
Yeah, you crossed over into death and returned. And like, meanwhile, while he's doing all this exposition, we can see in the background guards are just dropping like one by one. And you're like, "Oh, interesting."
This should be fun. And he's like, "Yeah, you've been kissed by shadows." And then the big plot twist, right? One of the guards chokes and falls, and I was like, "Oh, maybe Victor's got some extra powers."
Nope.
It's the daughter, Natalie.
I'd do anything for my daddy.
So goofy.
Oh, poor stupid Natalie.
Yeah, and then we get a fight, right? Boss battle.
She kind of gets the upper hand on Rose for a bit there, and then like they do a bunch more exposition about how Natalie was a spy the whole time, and she's the one who like killed the cat and whatever.
So much exposition.
Yeah, and like she ended up turning into a Strigoi by killing Ray, who was the guy she wanted to lose her virginity to, and she's like, "This is probably better." And I don't know, that whole thing's stupid. And then meanwhile, Victor like escapes, and Rose is like, "Don't you think that your daughter's going to want to drink you because you're Moroi?" Yeah. And he's like, "Oh,
daughter, kill her. I gotta get out of here."
Yeah. And then like meanwhile, she's got some more good lines. Natalie does, and she's like, "My skin's clear and so is my mind." And then comes in handy. Rose uses the flashlight on her that she got at the mall earlier.
Set up payoff. There you go. Right.
Yep.
Flashes her, and then as Victor's like trying to escape through the elevator, Dimitri pops in. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" I don't know. So this brick just falls from.
I love this scene. Yeah.
so they're having a face off, and I guess this brick just falls from the ceiling. I don't know if anyone did anything, but a brick just falls, and Dimitri kicks it, and it hits Victor in the head, in the face.
It's wicked funny.
Unintentionally funny, I think this is supposed to be. Oh my goodness,
I loved it.
So then Dimitri comes down, and him and Rose, they team up and they kill Natalie, right? Do the old
Rose is like, I can make you like Natalie wants to make Rose like her, turn her into Strigoi, whatever else. And then that's when Rose basically holds her down, and Dimitri ends up stabbing her with a silver stake.
Yeah.
And then Rose like passes out for some reason. Because Dimitri carries her out of the.
It's whatever. And then we get a time lapse academy shot, right? Like obviously some time's gone by, and then we're in the research room, right? The special place.
Yep.
And then Rose shows up, and we get Christian basically reading more connections between what's his face, Vladimir, right?
Saint Vladimir. Yeah. Everyone's totally fine now. Rose and Lissa and Christian are all
everyone's
totally healed.
Yep.
Everyone's fine. Christian's wearing red now instead of black. So like that's a funny joke, apparently.
I guess so. Yeah. And then we learned that Saint Vladimir, he was shadow kissed with his guardian, like Rose and Alyssa.
Yeah. Gave him the strength to not turn into a Strigoi. Because they did it together.
And then they finally get a high five in, which is great.
Yep. And then the queen shows up.
So much more.
And then there's a whole big speech. Lissa's like, you guys, I'm actually declaring my magic right now. It's called Spirit, and it means I can do all the magic. That's not the point of this. And she's like, and also my boyfriend is Christian. And like, the queen's like, not now, dear. And she's like, no. Oh, no. The queen tries to interrupt, and she says to the queen, not now, dear.
Right. Not now. Let's do this here, right? So she's like, yeah, my boyfriend's Christian in front of everyone. And then she goes on this whole blood family, Fast and Furious, family.
Yeah. Blood connects us all.
It's blood. And
blood is pain. Blood is death.
Let's no more slut shaming. I was like, really? What?
Yeah. She's like, we can't be afraid of the Strigoi or even drunk drivers. Like, what? She's like, all you need is a best friend to tell you it's okay. And like, Rose is my soulmate, and it sucks that you guys don't have soulmates. So like,
because you suck.
Yeah, stop slut shaming, stop bullying. Let's prove that Moroi blood is worth saving. What do you say, everyone? No more bad blood, and everyone claps.
Everyone's applause.
What do you say?
Oh my god, what do you say?
Can we save the ski lodge? Yeah,
we can do it. And then we're back out in the yard, right? And we got some Dimitri doing some Tai Chi out there.
Natalie's like, hey, because they talk about Natalie briefly. They're like, Natalie, huh? Like, you got that new tattoo for murdering her. He's like, I had to. Sadly, I'm sure you'll have many more opportunities to kill Strigoi. And she's like, you lied about your feelings for me. And he's like, yes, I did. But it's more than age and position. It's my Jedi responsibilities. They're like, I loved you too much.
It should be one thing. It should be the age.
Yes. Or your position. Either or.
Yes, either or. Age,
probably number one. Her and also age, right?
Oh my God. Jesus.
And she's like, and then she just goes, your reasons for not loving me make me love you more. Isn't that crazy? And then she's like, kiss me. And then he leans in to kiss her. And you're like, oh, gross.
Dude, sick. We just covered this.
Thankfully, she just flips him over.
Yep.
And then says, are you not entertained?
What is going on? And then she just skips away. And then she starts doing, because we're still ending this movie, then she goes into voiceover to wrap things up even more, right?
Yep. Narrator, like, while she's going to the courtyard, and
she has a moment with a crow that doesn't come to her arm, whatever.
I'm not a normal teenage girl. Is there such a thing?
Oh my God.
So the bird flies by, and she's like, watch where you're going, bird. But it's the crow that came back to life. And so she's like, oh, my shadow kissed soulmate, and like reaches out to him, and then the bird just flies
away.
And she's like, same to you, buddy. and then it zooms out over, like, that's the end of the movie, except,
or is it? Because there's more, and we zoom further and further and further out of the map here, the world, and we go to a cave, and we see a little stray Strugoi, right? He comes out, and he's like, now is now the time.
It's now the time.
And then we get from the reveal from the shadows.
Yeah,
it was Miss Carp the entire time.
Our hero, Miss Carp.
Yeah, she's like, says, not yet, soon. Yeah. And then the camera pans inside the cave, and there's just like thousands of Strigoi, pierogies, Strigoi. The end.
Awesome. And that's when I kind of was like, oh, now I want to go see the vampires like wreck these other vampires. That'd be funny.
Yeah, I want to see a big vampire fight.
Yeah, give me the sequel.
Holy shnikes.
Movie studios, give me that sequel.
All right. Well, what do we do? We can do. We can do
ameliorate?
Ameliorate? Jared and Russ ameliorate?
Yeah.
Time I was fine with. It was an hour and 44 minutes. Could be a little. That's fine.
Yeah, I could have cut a few scenes.
I think it's listed as like a horror comedy.
Yep.
I don't know. There's something wrong with the comedy because I think it's just not funny. Maybe so. Then it feels like it's playing it straight, like it's trying to be like take itself seriously.
Yeah.
And the lines between comedy and serious, I think, were like kind of blurred, which I doubt that was the point. But
yeah, and they like use the worst parts of Mean Girls, but like ineffectively of like that little bit of narration here and there, and like some of like the jokes they set up were like Mean Girls kind of jokes.
Yeah.
But just like executed poorly.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was just like so focused too. Like every scene, like we're saying, is like cardboard, just like working through the scene and saying lines and then, all right, cut. We're going to this next thing. And I don't know. Yeah. They spent too much time doing bad misdirections.
Yeah. I think most of the problem was with the casting. Now that we're talking about it more, like everyone just like did a bad job of acting in this movie.
Yeah. They kind of all mailed it in. It was like, okay. I mean,
yeah. And you're like that's I think what made Mean Girls work is like, oh, it felt heartfelt and like like the people in it were good.
And they should have had it like built up to like, I mean, you have the high school movie and you've got the dance. Like the dance is always like that's the pinnacle, that's the big point, right?
Right.
They should have like built that up more and like I don't know, they could have used that as like maybe a climax point or something. I don't know.
Could have done like a blood bucket thing, like a little Carrie.
Yeah, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Classic. That would have fit perfectly.
Yep.
I wanted more from like the Mia Principal Kurova, like the payoff there, because again, Kurova was like in on it. Must have been, right?
I don't know though, because at the end she's like walking around freely and like talking to them.
Right. Yeah, and that's where I'm like. I kind of got like a twinkle in her eye when she was like, "Oh, don't worry, like Natalie's gone from the school now."
Yeah, it's like, okay, so are you in on it? And you're gonna sedate Rose? Why are you, like,
right?
I don't. Like, yeah.
Give me actual Scooby Doo then.
yeah. Let's go full bore, go all in on it, right?
Right. Make it a big conspiracy, make everyone in on it. Do some unmasking at the end. Like that would be funny.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to go all for it. But yeah, and so much exposition about everything. Like there's just repeating stuff over and over again. It's like, okay, we got it. We know. Let's move on here.
Yeah.
So
dare I say it, make it 2 movies and show us like the backstory and what's going on in the first one.
Yeah. Right.
And then you don't have to explain it in the second one.
Yeah. And then the second one could just be your action movie. Get to it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Anything else?
I don't think so. I think we about summed it up.
Yeah. Don't watch this movie.
No.
Don't waste your time.
They're much like go watch Contra-Geist.
I think I'd actually recommend that over this.
Yeah. I feel like my go-to is always Contra-Geist because that's I think one of the best we watched still.
Well, yeah, one of our best bad movies. Yeah, definitely.
It was fun.
Yeah. It's pretty stupid. All right. Well, yeah, I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back next week with a new movie. In the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That, right? Team Pod on Twitter. Subscribe if you're listening. And if you got friends, share it.
Yes, please. And you can also share it with strangers by leaving reviews places, wherever you're allowed to do that. Write up something nice or something mean or something descriptive, whatever you want. Yeah. But couple it with 5 stars and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
Right?
That's it.
Or if you're feeling old fashioned, you can send us an email. Long form feedback for us. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. We'll read it in Trailer Trash next week, like we always do for fan service. Or you can go to the website, forgot everything we just said, find all the information, everything about us, everything about the podcast, all of our social medias, the contact information, 200 plus episodes. Check it out. It's thismeetsthat.com.